What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Welcome to Young Buck Refrigeration. If y'all tune in, I hope y'all consider subscribing, like the video, share with your friends, family, or whoever. Man, do not be a stranger. Anyway, I do got to get back with y'all in the comment section and stuff so I can stay interactive and all that. Stay tuned for some more shorts. We probably going to do some questionable ones. And yeah, just stay tuned. Anyway, on today, I wanted to talk about this particular post right here. This is from HVAC Technical Support. Y'all can go ahead and read this and see what answer choice y'all would go with and drop it. Y'all comment down below. But anyway, I'm going to read this out loud and I'm going to do it. And we're going to see. And I'm going to look through these comments and stuff. I just put this post up because I had seen it. So I'm like, dang, this is be pretty good to talk about. But anyway, I'm going to go through their page and all that to see if they got more of these. Because if this is number 365, obviously they got to have more and all that. And then we can just talk about this. But anyway, you're called to a job where a split system AC compressors runs, but the house is still hot. The suction line is frosted and the superheat is way too low. What's your first fix? A, add refrigerant. B, check for a stuck suspension valve. C, clean the condenser coil. D, replace the compressor. Number one, add refrigerant. I would just want to go up to a unit and add refrigerant just because the line is frosted over. Check for a stuck suspension valve. That could cause. A suspension valve could cause like a flood back. And then clean the condenser coil. We got a frosted line, the compressor running. That wouldn't be no telltale sign for no high head pressure issue. Could usually compressors and all that, if they have a high head situation where the condenser coil was dirty and all that, the compressor wouldn't be running at all, And then say replace the compressor. Why would we replace the compressor if the compressor is running? Anyway, I probably wouldn't choose none of these. But anyway, first of all, if I came and I was given this call right here, first thing first, I will look at the set point of the house just to make sure that it ain't running too low. That would be number one. Obviously, it would be in cooling. If the house is hot, I'm pretty sure the customer will, or they usually lower this set point to try to think it's going to get colder and stuff. But if the unit is running, I go to the indoor coil. Well, first I'll look at my air filter and all that. I will make sure my air filter is clean, because a dirty restricted air filter could be a problem and all that. You don't have that airflow coming across the coil and all that, so that would be like a huge restriction, and that can lead pressure drop and all of that. Now, I did have that recently happen. My mother, her house was hot, and it's a package unit, and I checked the refrigerant charge and all that. Everything was fine. Leak check through it. Don't have no leaks or nothing. And I checked the air filter. The air filter was super dirty, and I changed it. And I had the unit thaw out naturally and all that, just with the blower running. And once that was it, AC been running fine ever since. I didn't hear nothing in the back or anything. I asked her. She said, yeah, it's doing good and stuff. So always keep your air filters and all that changed and all that. But that would be the first thing I would check. I would go to the indoor unit, just make sure my blower motor is running. If my blower motor is running, I need to make sure that the squirrel cage, it ain't too dirty or anything, and that is going about like the correct RPM. How would I measure the RPM? Well, I don't have that tool for that, but I would just make sure that blower is running. Usually, if you have a suction line that's frosted over, usually the blower motor is not running. I had a situation before where the suction line was frosted back at the outdoor unit. I look, unit running out here, the compressor and all that running. Go upstairs, the blower is not running at all. So if the blower ain't running, you don't have air moving across that coil and stuff, that could lead to that coil icing over, and then have flood back, starting to go back, towards the outdoor unit and all. But luckily the capacitor was bad. Most of the time the indoor motors, they be having capacitors, and most of the capacitors go out, and you just change the capacitor and boom. But usually you have the variable speed motors. Once some things out, they are out. You have to wait to get them replaced, or you replace them if you keep them on your van and all that. But they really cool motors. I'm not gonna lie, but those be one and done, and I replaced those a couple times and all that. So if blower and all that check fine. I mean, suspension valve I could look at. Just make sure my suspension bulb, my sensing bulb is on this suction line properly and all. Make sure it ain't broken or anything. Trying to think. So I mean, if everything check out there, now I mean the only main reason you will have flood back, filter, blower, or low on charge. So, and then I will leak check the system. I will place my gauges on the system, but I would shut the unit off though after just checking the blower and all that, because you can kill power up top and all that. I will check on my pressures, and I would just have the unit go off. Usually when everything thaw out stuff, the pressures and all that begin to rise and all. But yeah, I would just make sure that they ain't thawed out completely though too. So you could run it through like a heat mode if it's a heat pump. What is a heat? Well, it don't say, just say split system AC. It don't say it's a heat pump or not. But most homes have heat pump and all that. But if it's like straight cool and stuff, I'd probably just shut it off. But it's a heat pump, just put it through like a heat mode and all that. A lot of ice to thaw, but then I would just verify my pressures and all that. But the only time we'll add refrigerant if we need to add refrigerant. My pressures are not in range where they need to be at. And I find a leak, obviously I will fix the leak, and then top the unit, But usually air filter, blower not going, and a leak in the system. It could be other possibilities also. So I don't think I would choose none of these up top. Anyway, let's look through these comments and all that. Let's see what they say and all that. So this guy right here, he was like, shut system down, then make sure evaporator is thawed completely and airflow is sufficient before restarting, and log in for a diagnose. Yeah. Somebody say put a screw in the condenser coil and tell the customer they need a new system. Wow. He said, nope, that's not how any of that works. LOL, a restriction anywhere include a TSV will cause a high superheat, not low. With the limited info provided, first thing I'm checking is airflow, starting with the filter. Yeah. So yeah, you gotta check the air filter first, and you gotta make sure that blower is running and stuff. Gotta make sure. None of these above. Pull and check filter, clean evap coil, and blower will. Yeah, like I said. So your evaporator coil could be dirty. I never cleaned the evaporator coil before. Probably just wipe it down, but like a deep clean. Nah, I always mainly been cleaning condensers and stuff. The blower wheels, I have seen blower wheels dirty. I did clean some before. We'll see what they said as a reply. They said, yep, majority of the time airflow issues. Yeah, yep. Airflow before charge. Yeah. With these options, I guess B, but would also want to check the evaporator coil and blower as well. Yeah, if everything checks fine, like my blower, refrigerant, levels and all that, after having everything thawed, blower, filters, if everything checked fine, because you gotta go down the list. It's like a process of elimination and stuff. If everything checked fine, then I will look at the expansion valve. But other than that, let's see what they got. Some more comments down here. Say ABC, airflow before charge. Airflow before charge, ABC. Airflow before charge. I check the filters, make sure the blower runs, and the evaporator coil is clean before saying it's low on charge. Say none of these above. Remove filter, visually inspect the evac coil. If it's frozen, thaw it out over a few hours. Return to get accurate gauge readings. He said if it's frozen, thaw it out over a few hours and all that. Most of the time, most people don't have that much time. Sometimes we have to do it like within a moment. Now you got some people who just say just let it thaw out and stuff. But if somebody need an AC and stuff, you're gonna have to try to make something shake and bake. And that's why I say you could probably throw it in the heat mode, just to thaw it out quick, or just having that blower motor run. But I did have to do that for my mother and all that. I just told her leave that blower on for a few hours. But if it's something where it need to be done, it's possible. System overcharged. Can a system overcharge system? I don't think a system being overcharged will cause a suction line to freeze over and all that. That would cause a high head pressure issue. Because if the system overcharged, that compressor wouldn't be running at all and stuff. Say shut system down, check for restricted evap coil, condenser coils, check blower speeds, check filter, turn fan on, thaw coil. Once all is said and done, turn it back on, verify blower operating, check static pressure. Now, I don't be getting too deep, but I probably need to, cause with like the static pressure and all that. But anyway, he said, then proceed to check the refrigerant levels. System must be within the clear operating conditions before any refrigerant levels are adjusted or anything diagnosed to prevent misdiagnosis. Yeah, very true. It's a good man. I disconnect the power to the reverser valve, let it run for a few minutes, walk to the drain line and see if any have a good amount of work coming out, then walk to the filter and visually inspect. Listen for blower. If clean, I head to the air handler and inspect return duct for kinks. Then pop the door off and check. Expect the coil, go from there. He said it's a good. He said I disconnect the power from the reverse and the valve. Interesting. Check static pressure and airflow across the coil. Say took 4 technicians and couldn't figure why the system is frozen. Well, took me 35 minutes to figure out that the contactor was shut blower off and on, but the condenser. That's interesting. Figure out that the contactor will shut the blower off and shut. So it's pretty weird. Hold on, let me see that. Say took to figure out, smell something's fishy. Say, oh, I had to remove the cover and removed it. Was on the contact there. Never said that before. Evaporator blow, working, frozen coil. But anyway, guys, that's gonna be pretty much it. Let me know if y'all would choose one of these choices. Y'all shouldn't, but those are the main reasons: air filters, blower, and then refrigerant. That could only cause usually that, and maybe a suspension valve. So yeah, But if we needed to clean the condenser coil, we'd be doing that if we was having a high head pressure issue and all that, and the compressor was too hot. That would be the only way. And then replacing the compressor, why would we replace the compressor if it's running? I mean, you do got to verify the amp draw and all that. You do got to make sure everything is sound with the compressor, and make sure none of them electrical prongs didn't shoot out. But if that was the case, the unit wouldn't be running at all, and so it would be off. But anyway, this the call. That's what they said. But anyway, I'm gonna be looking at more of these. If y'all have any input, drop it down below, and that's going to be pretty much it. Let me know y'all thoughts down below. Let me know y'all thoughts down below. Let me know if y'all came across situations like this. So yeah, let's get it.